Asset managers and insurers gathered under the broader G20 summit theme of inclusive growth and shared prosperity through global cooperation. Speaking at a B20 event, Sanlam Group Executive Shadi Chauke outlined the role of this sector in de-risking in a fragile climate.
So we meet on the eve of the B20 summit to turn the Finance and Infrastructure Task Force recommendations into action, and to show how the private sector can narrow an infrastructure finance gap that now stands at above $90 trillion. This room can help propel change in our respective countries. We have the skills and the know-how. We price risk, structure deals, and move capital.
Finance and Infrastructure Task Force co-chairperson Samaila Zubairu also stressed the importance of how capital can both withstand crisis and unlock growth.
So the solution is for governments to understand that projects that can be financed by private sector or by public-private partnerships should be done along those lines. And why should they do that? So by constantly doing projects that they shouldn't do, they are increasing their debt. They're crowding out private sector from having access to credit. They're also increasing the risk premium that Africa has, by constantly going to market to do things that they shouldn't be doing. They should spend their time more focused on policy and enabling environments for public-private partnerships, to thrive.
F&I Task Force Africa chairperson British Robinson agrees, saying that balance will bring a particular focus on the continent's investment potential.
The pipeline is there, but there's the why the bankable pipeline is not moving, one. And two, correcting what I call the narrative around perceived risk. So when we talk about pipeline, it's there, but too many projects are not reaching financial close because of lack of full preparation, feasibility studies, permitting, regulations, the time, as he mentioned, structuring, et cetera. And because risk is priced higher than the fundamentals actually warrant.
U.S. Chamber of Commerce Senior Vice President Gary Littman adds that unlocking capital in a risk-averse environment requires a strategic approach in addressing geopolitical, policy, and infrastructure challenges.
The level of commitment. It's the real commitment, political will, to make sure that investment actually adds to the economic potential of a particular population. And therefore, the data should be about that population. What are the SMEs around? What's the likelihood that they'll be able to pay the freight? What's the likelihood of increased economic activity there? What are the schools around here? Will people move out? I think that if we are focused on spreadsheets today, we forget that infrastructure is a public good.
Resilient financing in a changing world is the agenda that this forum will be taking into the G20 summit later this week. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Tumisang Ndlovu in Sandton.